haven't spoken on this topic for a while because I kind of thought everybody already knew. But I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day and I was talking about the importance of localizing your smart home products so they don't eventually become inevitable doorstops.
The new Harmony doorstop from Logitech. That was £115 well spent. The shiny little shit.
And he kind of looked at me blankly like, well, what do you mean? And I was sort of saying, well, the thing is, right, if you buy a smart home product and that company goes bust, almost all of them become doorstops because they are reliant on a server on the internet that belongs to that company. And he said, oh, I didn't know that. And I said, there are other people who take it a step further and have a concern that they need to wear a tinfoil hat all the time because if they don't, that company might have all of their information. And he said, what? And it doesn't bother me personally, and I said this to him, I said, personally, I am not concerned that people have my data, but a lot of people are. And he said, well, I kind of am. And I said to him, well, you don't need to be buying smart home products that are cloud dependent then, because you give them all of your data when you start using the product, and of course they are then logging what you're doing with that product going forwards. And I thought today might be a good day to then talk again about Shelly. Shelly do some absolutely awesome products, but the more important factor here is the fact that it is all entirely local and there's no account sign up. If Shelly go bust, all of your products still work. There's also no hub required because it connects directly to your Wi-Fi, but they do still have a cloud element if you want it, so that you can connect it to Amazon Alexa and Google Home.
Alexa,
set bedroom lights to 100%. Oh, oh, good. Shelly have sponsored this video, but I'm literally going to only tell you the facts, and I'm going to be as honest with you as I was with Luke Skywalker. Not gonna lie, mate, that's not a good arm to lose. It's the arm you use for one. Shelly have sent me this smart home plug socket specifically for review today, but I thought I would talk more widely about the Shelly ecosystem and why it's a really good thing if you have those kinds of concerns. This Shelly plug will work with Amazon Alexa and Google Home. I believe it works with Samsung SmartThings, it'll work with Habitat, it works with basically everything, but most importantly for me, it works with Home Assistant. I don't know why there was some part of me that thought it wouldn't work, but yes! And you know what's really cool if you're a Home Assistant fan? Like, you can see your actual energy usage. Home Assistant! Home Assistant! Home Assistant! Not only that though, this plug socket also does energy monitoring too, which is a huge thing if you're a Home Assistant fan and you're looking to save power. You can plug this thing into your wall, plug whatever you want into it, and it will tell you how much draw there is. This Shelly plug socket is awesome, and here to unbox it for us is Paul from the past. Paul from the past. Oh, I thought it might be a bit more dramatic than that. I'm on the show. So the really cool thing with Shelly stuff is that you can just connect to their Wi-Fi. That plug socket is producing Wi-Fi right now, right? And then you can see Shelly plus plug UK is obviously that thing. It's kicking out Wi-Fi, and I can connect to it. Connected, no internet access. Simple as that. And then all you do is you visit the IP address of the plug socket, which is 192.168.33.1. Look at that! That's the plug, alright? And I can already control it. So that's my phone connected directly to this plug socket and is able to control this plug socket. There's no account sign up, there's no data collection. It's not like Facebook, where you are collecting our data, aren't you, Mark?
Senator, I don't know.
Yeah, you are. The irony that a man that behaves like Data from Star Trek is actually obsessed with stealing your data is not lost on me. But anyway, But the thing is, of course, you can't then do anything with this plug socket because you're not going to connect your phone directly to it every time you want to control it. So what you do next is you connect this thing to your Wi-Fi by instructing it what your Wi-Fi information is. That then connects this plug socket to your Wi-Fi network, and then if you're using Home Assistant already finds it, and that's it. So I'm now connected back to the internet, back to my home network, and if I go to Home Assistant, Devices and Services, I think what you'll find it's as simple as that. Wicked.
This week, people are taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with that.
I didn't know that was happening.
I've seen it, yeah. You know, I am in queer media, so...
Yeah, I didn't know that was happening.
But if you're not into the whole Home Assistant thing, you can just use the Shelly app and connect it to Amazon Alexa just like you would anything else, but you have a company you can trust. You don't have to worry about them stealing your data because everything is still operating locally. This just connects you to the cloud so that you can use Amazon Alexa. So if I open the Shelly app, and... What? Okay, that's a huge improvement. It's automatically discovered it, which isn't something they used to be able to do. I just add device then. It's still asking for my Wi-Fi credentials for some reason, but that's fine, I can bang those in. And it's quite cleverly saying, once you've connected to the internet, once we've got you online, do you want to also disable the Bluetooth on the plug socket and disable the Wi-Fi on the plug socket? And the answer is yes, I don't want those things running all the time, there's no need to. That is so much better than it used to be. That's it. Let's disable the Wi-Fi access point, disable the Bluetooth, and connected it to the Shelly ecosystem, and now I can just name it, give it a picture or whatever, and hit next. I can now control the Shelly plug socket in the Shelly app. I can see power consumption, all that good stuff. And it's instantaneous because it's local. I'm sure you've all added an Amazon Alexa skill at some point using the Alexa app. That's basically all you do from that point. You add the Shelly skill and it discovers anything that you've added to the Shelly app. If you've added that plug socket, you can then control it with your voice. Simple as that. My son is so cute. Except at 4 AM this morning when he woke me up. Wow. I went to work. It's 4 AM now. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So this is associated to my Shelly account that I did sign up for, and that's simply so that I can share my Shelly products with Amazon Alexa. You don't have to set up an account otherwise. That's it, job done. I've connected it to Home Assistant, I've connected it to Amazon Alexa, and if you wanted to connect it to Google Home, it would do the same basic process. So for Home Assistant, you've got basic on-off functionality, you've also got power and energy, and that's kind of it. But if you want to check through all the other things that you can do with this plug, you need to go into the Shelly app. So the Shelly ecosystem is very cool. I can go into the plug socket and I've got so many options down the side. Things like notifications, if I want to get a notification when something happens. I can look at the consumption of energy, the voltage, all that good stuff. You've got timestamps of when things happened, when it was turned on and off. You've got timers where you can set it to go off after a certain amount of time. You've got a schedule where you could set a schedule up for this thing. You've got scripts. You've got all of this stuff. This is internet for MQTT. I can enable MQTT on the thing and then connect it to Home Assistant that way. I can turn Bluetooth on and off. I can turn cloud support on and off. You can do basically anything in here. You can alter all this stuff, which is insane. You can set this to turn off when power consumption reaches whatever wattage you want. How mental is that? That's like an incredible level of control. You can lock the device down with a pin so that people can't access it and change things. You can share the socket with another user, and you've got all of these settings as well. The level of control is mental. Eco mode, enable device will consume less energy and run at lower temperatures. You can change the LED indicator color mode for power, switch, and off. You can change its brightness, you can change its color, you can enable night mode for the LED indicator so that it won't turn on between certain hours so it doesn't keep you awake. You can do so much in here, and you can update the firmware, which I'm gonna do. It's now the next day, or the previous day, I don't even know anymore. If you're wondering how I achieve time travel, basically your son wakes you up earlier and earlier and earlier until it's the previous day. That's how it works. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. So, first of all, this plug socket is 13 amps, 3000... Wait, what? So first of all, this plug socket is 13 amps, 3000 watts, which means it's rated for kettles, washing machines, anything you can throw at it, it can handle. And the Shelly ecosystem, as I've already said, is awesome, and they do a whole bunch of other products, which I shall link in the description. Everything is linked in the description for you to pick up. I'll get some affiliate commission, you get an awesome product that's perfectly private and perfectly local. So what's wrong with it? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. You're not needed this week, Keegan. There is no elephant in the room. So, the only thing that I can find with this thing that I would improve is that the LED ring light on the thing can't be controlled in Home Assistant independently. If it could, it would be literally perfect. You can, of course, go into the Shelly app and turn it off and do whatever it is you want to do in the Shelly app and still use the plug socket in Home Assistant and still not sign up for an account and still not use it through the cloud. So it's, again, not really a problem, it's just a little pinickety thing. There is, of course, the usual Wi-Fi issue. The more Wi-Fi gadgets you throw at your router, the more likely it is that your router is going to start to struggle. If you're still using the router from your ISP, you might need to upgrade at some point. I think it's around 20-ish devices. If you throw like 20 devices at your ISP's router, it's probably going to start to suck. I have an Amplify HD router, and that's totally overkill. You can spend a lot less money and sort this problem out. A lot of people just get a separate router altogether for looking after their smart home gadgets, and then have like a Wi-Fi network over here doing the smart home thing, and a Wi-Fi network over here doing Netflix and your mobile phones and all the rest of it. That is one way of achieving this, and yeah. That's it for this video. All that's left to do is to thank my patrons who are running up your screen right now for making this video a possibility. Without them, I'd still be working in a call center. I know I say every week, but it doesn't become any less true. If you want to be like those guys, or in fact like the guys that I'm thanking personally this week, who are my latest patrons, who are FR Linux, Ian Dunsmore, Jeremy Crawl, Scott Goddard, and Sean Costanzo. You're going to be like these incredible people. You can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal. Either way, I would genuinely love you forever. It's such a kind thing to do. You could do that at either of those things, or come and hang out with me on my social medias at Facebooks, Instagrams, TikToks. These things. See you next week. And then they have a separate Wi-Fi router for doing all the Netflix and all the rest of it. That's probably the best way of doing it, and as usual, I don't know what I'm saying.